Kentucky, obviously, a very uninspiring performance against Toledo. And just, it just didn't look good. Week one, maybe just things were kind of, getting back into the rhythm of it. It was a day game for them in Lexington. Just nothing looked good. Zach Calzada, I've never been high on him.
I love that Lane made the comparison to Joe Flacco. That's hilarious. He is college football's Joe Flacco. He's like, he's been in the league 10 years, and Joe, the old joke of Joe Flacco elite, you know what I mean? But Zach Calzada, he's well-traveled. He is well-traveled. Yeah. And honestly, outside of Zach Calzada, I've learned this week as I've prepared, on my website, Rebel Grove, and on 3 for sign up for $1. I don't know much of anything about them. They lack star power, but that doesn't matter because Ole Miss and Kentucky plays Ole Miss tough.
I'll tell you this. What time is that game, Ben?
2:30.
2:30. That is a blessing. You do not want to play a night game there. I watched Georgia almost get upset a year ago in a night game. They really do show out. That's the one thing that I'll say is it is a tough environment to play in. And obviously Stoops has done a great job there. They beat someone they're not supposed to every single year. The defense is usually pretty solid as the season goes on. I will say, though, despite all of that, Ole Miss should very easily win this game. The amount of
don't you say that, because you and I have a lot of experience doing this now.
We do have a lot of experience doing that.
Ole Miss, Memphis. Yep. Ole Miss, Memphis, friend.
This is true, and this is a level of obviously an SEC team we're talking about here, but their offense.
But Sudu said, Ben, there's no way. There's no way Ole Miss loses to Memphis. And
I can't account for Hugh Freeze's deficiencies, though, Ben. That's the only listen, on paper, they should have won. I didn't tell Hugh Freeze to put a star defensive tackle in as a running back and not have a good enough game plan and let his players run amok on Beale Street a night before the game. I mean, that's not on me.
Ooh, saucy.
I'm just saying.
I'm saying is let's not put any carts before horses, but yes, on paper
they should be able to win pretty easily. Kentucky had a couple of explosive plays that helped them get the lead, but I mean, even at the end of the game, Toledo was trying to make it a game late in the fourth quarter. If Austin Simmons, and I expect Austin Simmons to make one or two mistakes, he'll probably throw an interception or two again.
No, let's positive vibes only. I think they're going to play a cleaner game. I think they're going to play a cleaner game. I think they're going to rely. They came out just throwing. I think they threw on their first 7 plays or something against Georgia State. Yeah. Knowing what you got with Kewan Lacy, buddy, they're going to try to establish him very early. And you're right. Playing at 2:30, Lexington is sneaky, tough as hell to play. And, they always play Ole Miss tough, especially under Mark Stoops and against Lane Kiffin. So I expect, at least early on, a really rugged and tough, punch you in the mouth kind of game. But Ole Miss, because of its talent disparity, in my opinion, compared to Kentucky, should be able to extend it out. I think I picked them to win 33-17, but I don't think there's going to be anything comfortable about it to start. And inevitably, if that does happen, it becomes very uncomfortable very quickly. You're going to get all the old feelings from last year, man. You're going to get the ESPN's going to play all that up so hard, and understandably so. But I think that Ole Miss. Here's the bottom line: they can't lose this game. Right. If they lose this game, what it means for the season, potentially across the board is not a great conversation to be having after week 2. Let's just put it that way. We're not thinking that way. Positive vibes only on a Thursday. Okay. Positive vibes only.
But you're
Arch
right.
is going to bounce back.
Yeah.
Austin Simmons is going to play a clean game. We're only going to have positive vibes because you're trying to pull me down in the muck with you, and I'm not doing it. Bill Belichick. Yeah, like one of our show rundown things from Sudu was, will Bill Belichick and UNC lose again at Charlotte? Positive vibes only.
I don't know that they won't, but just quickly touching on Tennessee, I do agree. Or Kentucky rather. A year ago, there was some star power on that defense, right? You had Deion Walker, Jamon Dumas Johnson. You had some guys in the secondary that were pretty solid, and even on offense, you had some guys that you could consider quote unquote weapons, even though they didn't maybe pan out as the season continued. But this year, just like I said, it was very uninspiring against Toledo. Nobody really jumped out. And once again, as long as you can limit the mistakes on the offensive side, and all Ole Miss has to do is force a couple turnovers and capitalize, they'll take care of business if that happens. But yeah, Kentucky, this isn't even the Kentucky team from a season ago. So it doesn't worry me too much, but,
well, listen, that's the pseudo kiss of death. I've heard that too many times. And if Ole Miss goes and loses in Lexington on Saturday, buddy, you will not be able to ever run from the Sudu jinx. I just want you to know that, ever.
Well, listen, the Sudu jinx, quote unquote. I think I was wrong about Ole Miss losing to Georgia a year ago. So there you go.
You were. Hey,
Remember?
You were. And Ole Miss dominated that game. You're right. But you did expect it to be a competitive game, unlike the year before. When you said, they're going to come in here and get wrecked. And I was like, well, maybe. Yeah, you're right.
I had terrible anxiety about coming on an Ole Miss podcast as an alum and, saying that.